okay, well, we have 15,000 convicted murderers now who are in the country through the southern border because your president removed barricades that have enabled these people to now just flood into the country from we don't even know where.
You know that 15,000 number, you're not accurately citing that, right? That 50, first of all, I think the number is 14,000, and that is with the totality of non-citizens that are in the country that have committed a violent crime. They didn't all come in the 4 years under Biden. You're just making that up. You can Google 14,000 homicides or 14,000 violent crime and look up that number to pretend that they all came in. Also, what they all came in through the southern border, where the federal government, by the way, has exclusive purview to do immigration policy. That's where they all came in from. How would you even know that? Are they just watching them come in and writing them down in a notebook? And then, like, even the premise of this, again, is ridiculous. It's all like boogeyman bullshit. If you care about the border so much, why are you happy that Trump blocked the bill?
Well, because again, that immigration bill was not actually addressing things substantially. They were trying to score political points because Americans are expressing anxiety about immigration, which is to say they're unhappy with the way that the Biden administration has handled it. Because again, on day one, you have to tell me, why did he stop doing the things that Trump had? Why did he halt the construction of the border wall? Why did he end Remain in Mexico? Why did he do things that would make it easier for people to come in through, yes, the southern border into our country? What benefit does that serve to American citizens?
There is no... Yeah, so there was no border wall under Trump. It just never happened. Nothing in Congress ever got done in regards to a border wall. So everything you're saying about that is fantastic.
That's not true. He was building
that border bill. When you say the border
it.
bill was political points, killing the border bill was political points, definitionally so. Donald Trump killed it to win politically. But to say that the bill was bad because it didn't address anything substantively, what's lacking in substance for more funding for asylum processes? What's lacking in substance for allocating more judges to process immigrants? What's lacking in substance? Why did the Border Patrol support this bill? What's lacking in substance to staffing the border with more agents to defend our border? Which of these things are lacking in substance?
I think, well, because if you are bringing more judges in to process these cases, that does not mean that the cases are going to go in a way that I would like. That just means these people are going to more easily be able to enter into the country. It's not as though if you had more judges and more resources, it would somehow be better able to secure itself as a southern border. They would simply be allowed to, in greater number and with more expediency, waltz into the country and disappear into God knows where.
If you think that the goal of the judges is to just rubber stamp everybody coming in, then why would Biden need to hire more judges at all? Wouldn't every single asylum judge just say, oh, you're in, oh, you're in, oh, you're in?
No,
do you not want to process them? How about you just say what you actually want, because you want to shut down all immigration? Just say that. You don't want any immigrants coming in. Just say that. Be honest.
Yeah, I've said that for 5 years. That is exactly my point.
Okay, then don't say the border bill lacks substance. Just say you disagree with it because you're opposed to immigration. Also, when you say American exceptionalism, what do you believe in? Do you believe in American exceptionalism or British exceptionalism? Because I don't understand what you mean when you say American exceptionalism and then you're anti-immigration. Like, where do you think Americans come from? They come from other countries, right? Unless you live on a Native American reservation and you want to see the expansion of their territory.
When America was becoming America, immigration was coming from a different part of the world, I think a part of the world that was approximately the size of Florida. Now we are getting people from, we'll say, places that are maybe a little bit less compatible. And I don't think that they're assimilating very well, and I think that pretty much any metric by which you choose to evaluate that would vindicate the truth of that. And so when I say America doesn't need immigration, I don't mean America doesn't need people from Japan or people from Northwest Europe. I mean America probably doesn't need Haitians. That's specifically what I mean.
I agree. Sure. And I think that there's a large point of agreement there. I do think that there are a lot of immigrants that have trouble assimilating to society today, but that's because half of the society that you want them to assimilate to possess no American values. And by that, I mean the Conservative Party. I expected to see Spanish people, Haitian people, whoever, marching on the Capitol or marching to tear down this country, and that's not what I've seen. I've seen conservatives that are destructive to the country in every single way. You don't believe in the rule of law. You don't believe in how the government works. You don't share foundational American principles relating to liberalism, relating to respect of free speech or the media. These are the foundational core aspects that make you an American. And right now, the issue that we have is the conservative side of the country. It's not immigrants. It's not the people that are coming into the country and not eating the cats and dogs that are a threat. It's the people who are saying that they saw it on TV when it's not even happening. That's the thing that's undermining our democracy right now.
I don't think that's true. I think that the party which seeks to conserve the Constitution is the one that, not coincidentally, is the one that's more aligned with voters which come from parts of the world, like I said. I mean, you can even see the data on this. The more conservative you are, the more likely you are to have been in this country in terms of your bloodline for a much longer time. You're talking about people from Germany, from the Netherlands, from England, from wherever. They are assimilated much more than people who are coming from India, from wherever. And so, yeah, your ability to assimilate into a culture that is an outgrowth of Anglo-Saxon history is probably going to be linked somewhat to where you are descended from. And so, yeah, that doesn't come as a surprise to me at all.
How many times has Biden or Kamala said that they wanted to suspend the Constitution?
Your party is the one writing about that, though. That's obviously I don't expect like
I'm
Dark
ask the same
Brandon.
question again.
Obviously, I don't expect Dark Brandon to come out as the commander-in-chief and be like, "We're going to suspend the Constitution." But there are people still in the New Yorker. They just wrote a piece. This guy had been writing for the New Yorker for 30 years.
The New Yorker isn't Biden or Kamala Harris.
The point is, the sentiment is coming from your
so
side.
Then the answer was Biden and Kamala have never said that. How many times on Truth Social has Donald Trump said that he would suspend the Constitution? And you have the audacity to say that the Republicans right now are the ones who care about rule of law?
Yes.
You yourself are talking about undermining the entire structure of the government by having legislation from the executive. The executive legislates. He can do things with executive order. That's not part of the American understanding of how our government is supposed to work. And you're talking about a guy who's saying he wants to suspend the Constitution. What part of this is American?
It's in the Constitution. I mean, Lincoln did it. FDR did it. You can certainly wield the power of the executive branch in accordance with the Constitution. The point being, I don't expect the leader of the party, be that Biden or Kamala, to get on stage and say the quiet part out loud, so to speak. But their Department of Justice still is going after patriots. They are still allowed to, in their media, write about how we should throw the Constitution out, as they just did in the New Yorker, a very prestigious publication, because the Constitution obviously can't stop somebody like Donald Trump, who is obviously such a horrible person. Therefore, we need to burn the Constitution, which apparently you are suddenly so in favor of, if it means that we can stop Donald Trump. I mean, they've said that he's a threat to democracy for like 4 or 5 years now. He was in office, and that's not what that's not what ended up happening. He left office.
That is what ended up happening.
Fine.
He tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power by trying to defraud 7 states. That is exactly what happened. And then he failed and he lost and eventually he got kicked the fuck out.
Right.
When you say the DOJ is going after
victory,
patriots, do you acknowledge that Donald Trump called Fox News and said, why isn't the DOJ indicting these people, that the DOJ needs to go after these people? True. Do you acknowledge that Donald Trump has tried to give direction to his DOJ in a way that you wish Biden was ever on record doing? Do you acknowledge that Donald Trump has given direct direction to the Department of Justice to go after political adversaries? Do you acknowledge that's reality?
I would use a different word than political adversary. I like it when the Department of Justice goes after disloyal R's. I don't like it when they go after MAGA patriots. That is sort of my axiom for viewing that.
You're an authoritarian,
I don't think that that's actually hypocritical at all. I think that it's completely in alignment with what needs to be done.
Okay. I mean, You're an authoritarian, right? Yeah, nothing about you is compatible with this country. If any sane immigration policy was ever created that tried to keep people away from this country, that were antithetical to the idea of the American project, you would be at the top of the list in never being allowed here. Because what you believe in, what you want, is something that's more akin to the leadership structure of all the countries that you criticize. For some reason, you fall into the trap of thinking authoritarian dictatorships are good when I like the authoritarian dictator. But it's such an unbelievable position to sit here and say that the president of the United States should be allowed to direct the DOJ as long as he's going after the people that I think are really bad. Like, what an insane position to try to unironically defend while also pretending to be an American. It's insane to me.
I don't think it's insane at all. I think it's what's happening right now under this administration.
A really pithy response, John, and then we've got to wrap up.
Every immigration act up until the Hart-Celler Act in 1965, which was described as the greatest gift from the Kennedys to the Democrat Party, took into account the founding demographics, the American demographics of this country. The reason now, if you express attitudes that are antithetical to immigration, that you get pushback, is because this country is not the same as it used to be. We've had 60 million people come to this country since 1965. We are now at record highs for a percentage of our overall population, which is foreign-born. The people here are not American. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me when a guy comes out and says, hey, we should probably take it easy on immigration. I don't know if these people are compatible with American culture, that these people who are now enfranchised as if they are equal to Americans are going to push back against that. It doesn't surprise me at all.